Even though he talked about cutting spending, cutting taxes, all these things that he was going to do, spending increased, taxes increased, everything that you would expect from a Democratic administration. And the same thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's going to run it just like the Wilson administration did before, which got us into this mess.
Right.
They're going to keep running it like that, and that's what, unfortunately, is going on.
I think that people elected Arnold kind of with this fallacy that, you know, from seeing his movies, that he has the power to go in and fix everything. You know, I think that maybe a lot of Californians were kind of hoping that fantasy would come true. And it seems now the honeymoon is over. With the polls, his popularity is decreasing, and people see that, you know, he doesn't have the same magical powers that he does. But people, you know, in the movies, but people seem to ascribe magical powers to government always. Any problem, they think that government can fix absolutely any problem on Earth. And whenever there is a problem or a perceived problem, people always turn to government to try to fix it. You know?
Yeah, I think if he would have, I think he's got the personality. He could go up against these people. He could be a little bit more hard-nosed like he was in the beginning, like from the pension reform issue, and fight them. But he doesn't do his own research. He doesn't have the right people working in there. I mean, if he had put Tom McClintock as his chief of staff, and he was in charge of all these people, you know, things would get done. They start going in the right direction. But having the wrong people in charge, the people that got us into this mess in charge, is not going to get us out of the mess.
What about workers' comp?
Workers' comp is seemed to be put on the back burner. I don't think that's a major issue right now, but it's important.
Has anything been done?
They've modified it. They put it around the edges a little bit, and rates have gone down a little bit, but it's still way out of control. You know, workers' comp should not be required. It should be up to the worker and the employee to decide whether or not they want to have workers' comp. But there are areas that it's just ridiculous amount of money that you have to spend on workers' comp. Like if you hire a roofer, that's under a certain dollar amount, you pay just as much money for his salary as you do for workers' comp. So if you're paying him $12 an hour for salary, you pay him $12 an hour workers' comp. And what that is of course, it's a huge tax on the working poor. You know, the working class. Here's this guy making $12 an hour. He would be making $24 an hour if not for workers' comp.
So what can be done there? What can be done to fix that?
Well, the easiest fix, the best
to get rid
fix,
of it,
is just make it volunteer. Make it volunteer between the employer and employee. You know, if you want to workers' comp, if this guy that's making $12 an hour, employer says, look, I can either pay $12 an hour to you and $12 an hour for workers' comp, or I give you $24 an hour. What do you want? He's going to take the $24 an hour, and he's going to go from being the working poor into the middle class. I mean, just like that. And that would be a huge boon to some of the poor people in the state of California.
So we have a lot of charisma with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it doesn't seem to be being used to really make any positive changes.
Not yet. I mean, the main problem with California was that we were getting in debt. We were in debt, and he's gotten us further into debt. So he made the problems worse. Now, the one thing that has saved Arnold is the dramatic increase in real estate prices in the state of California and all the movement in real estate. Because what that does is when people buy their house, and they've had it for 20, 30 years, they have Proposition 13 to help and protect them. Their rates can only go up 2% per year. But now when they sell their house and somebody else buys it, and when they had paid maybe $50,000 for it 30 years ago, now they turn around and they sell it for $700,000. Now it's going to be taxed at $700,000. So the state government has had this huge windfall in the amount of property taxes that has been coming in. And that's what saved him. Because now they're able to pay back on some of these bonds that he has. Now, whether or not that keeps going, of course, you know, they will keep the property taxes will be coming in. Will they be increasing at the rate they're increasing now? Probably not. But,
now, Angela was living in Texas for a while. I mean, when most of this was going on. So, what do the people in Texas say about?
Oh, good God, we don't even have a state income tax there.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world. No, I mean, we have a whole different set of problems because our economic system is entirely different.
Right.
I mean, they would never tolerate the amount of taxation that goes on in California.
What about, what is their impression of Arnold?
You know, we had our own problems with Rick Perry. So when people outside of California were watching the coverage of the election, obviously the Gray Davis issue was very amusing, and with the recall, everyone was very excited and interested in that. What are people's perceptions? You know, people really don't follow state politics very closely. I mean, when we were having our own controversies between Rick Perry and Carol Keaton Strayhorn, it was very hard to get people to actually follow anything, you know, other than the juicy soap opera aspect of it, as opposed to the taxes, which both this Republican comptroller and this Republican governor were arguing over who could raise taxes more efficiently and take more money from you.
But eventually it got a lot more publicity than any other state contest nationwide. I'm sure it did. And it's going to probably be a great spectacle again in 2006, especially if they can get Rob Reiner to run on the Democratic ticket.
Be meathead against meathead. Yeah, you know, I always say that now with Arnold Schwarzenegger in office, we can truly say the Republicans are indeed Democrats on steroids. Now, you've run, sort of, for governor before. Have you decided yet whether or not you're going to run again?
No.
You're not going to do it?
I don't know.
You don't know. You haven't decided yet. Okay. Well, this may be some advanced publicity for you. And you were once the vice presidential candidate of the Libertarian Party in the year 2000. And have you recovered from that yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone else out there would like any more information about the Libertarian Party, where can you find us on the web?
You can always go to lp.org.
And if you're one of those people that doesn't have a computer yet, you can join us. By calling us 1-800-ELECT-US, and we'll send you out a free packet of information in the mail. So any closing thoughts about Arnold to take us out?
Well, I sincerely wish that he would get rid of his current administration, bring in some people that can fix the problems, people that have been working on those problems, you know, whether it's Ray Haynes or Tom McClintock or some libertarians, bring in some people that actually didn't create the problem, people that know how to fix the problem, and get the right kind of direction. Because I sincerely believe that he wants to help out the state of California. He wouldn't have given up his
well, maybe he was bored with it. Well, anyway, he's tired of being a big star. He needs a new challenge. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.